as part of their bicentennial ceremony, celebrating 200 years of America's birthday. And the last part of that celebration involved taking some very special items that have been placed and sealed into this time capsule by members of a commission that I want to acknowledge them because I think it's relevant that we do so today. And anyway, those people really do need recognition. Mike, I don't have their names. It was a long time ago. Bob Zagorowski, you're here. Do you remember their names? Okay. Anyway, the president of the class of Chicopee Comprehensive High School in 1976 is a guy named Jeff Sattler. He's no stranger to Chicopee. And I want to say, Jeff, thank you, because I know you were instrumental in not just bringing the flag that we just raised out on the plaza, but I believe the class of 1976 also painted the capsule. They won the design for that painting and were intimately involved in the contents of what's inside this capsule. And you can see that there is a little bit of paint left from 1976, so I'm not sure what it looked like in its grandeur state when it was painted, but I bet it was pretty beautiful. Yes?
The classmate that painted it was a woman by the name of Mickey Bovair, and at the time there were 5,000 applications and she was an incredible artist, and she was one of our classmates in 1976. So give credit where credit is due. She's an artist, and I think she designed the medal that's inside as well.
Thank you. I do want to take a moment to recognize that there's many elected officials here, but one in particular that I'm going to allow to say a few words, because of really that's how we discovered that there was a time capsule there. And that's the president of the City Council, Frank LaFlamme.
Thank you. Well, first I want to thank and congratulate anyone here from 1976. I was 77, so I'm a little younger. But I just want to thank one particular person. I happened to be at an event, and her name is Gail Boone, who was the secretary for the senior year of 1976 at Chicopee Comp. And she came to me, she wanted to know about the capsule because she heard about the other capsule, and she was concerned about this one, and they were looking for it, and they didn't know where it was at the time. So lo and behold, we got a lot of literature from her identifying everything. And so in June of this year, I went to the mayor. I had an email sent to the mayor with the backup and the planning director. So I want to also thank the planning director, who was in charge of our library now, that went around to find it, to make sure it was there. So I want to thank Lee Puya for that. But Gail Boone, again, as a secretary, was still doing her job today. This year, and she brought it forward. So I'm happy to be here tonight, this afternoon for this, and I can't wait to see what was put in there. And Jeff, thank you too for your input on all this. And I thank the mayor for setting this all up today to have this open. It's a great opportunity for the city of Chicopee. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I know there's probably a lot of historians in the room, and a lot of people are very interested to see what's in here. So we're about to open that, but I gave a little bit of background outside, and I think it's really relevant to those who weren't out there to understand what brought us here today. Knowing that we discovered that there was a time capsule. We are 24 years late in opening that capsule because it was supposed to be open in the year 2000, according to the newspaper article that we received from 1976. So first we wanted to make sure that there was a capsule, and we did, and obviously it's here in front of me. But we also did take a moment to take the rusty screws that were holding this capsule closed to just make sure there was content inside and make sure that it hadn't been opened and everything emptied. We left everything in its original state. Nothing has been touched. No one has gone in there. We simply opened the lid, resealed it with caulking, and put the cover back on because I wanted everyone today to see what was placed in there and how it was placed, because I really do think it's a significant moment in time. to recognize the history of 1976. On that note, our goal is, once we unveil everything inside, is to then refill this capsule with certain very specific things from our era, from today, seal it back up for those. We probably won't put a cell phone battery in there, though. We'll probably put some other things, but definitely a smartphone, because if you ask people in 1976 if they had a smartphone, they would think you were crazy. A device that tells you everything, but anyway. Or having a phone in your pocket is another thing. But putting really some significant things that represent the year 2024. And I know that some people say, well, why would you open it today? And I'll just share that. Again, it was supposed to be open in the year 2000. We could have waited another year, roughly, or 2 years, and opened it in the year, the 50th anniversary. But we live in the moment. And talking with the president of the class of 1976, he said, you know what, let's let the class of 76, who didn't get a chance to see this opened 24 years ago, let's open it now. So now, like I had mentioned, everything in this capsule is in its original state. Nothing has been touched, and we're going to start unveiling. We do have a list of things that was in the newspaper article of what is supposed to be in here. So we're going to start first, and I'm going to ask the president of the class of Chicopee Comp 1976, Jeff Sattler. We'd like to see, there's supposed to be a golf ball, a replica of a golf ball. I know that we have a representative of Callaway Golf who's here on behalf of Callaway. This golf ball is a replica of the golf ball that was actually on the moon.
I can't find the golf ball.
So what we have, we've pulled out is something that we're about to open, and I think these are the documents from, we have a letter that was written by the mayor at the time. That's Mayor Howard Redfern. Well, we're going to read that letter today. We have the Opus, or class of 1976 yearbooks from Chicopee High and Chicopee Comp. Jeff, you remember that yearbook, right? You have that at home. Mike Pease, you remember this yearbook? Mike, is this yours? There's supposed to be a golden cabasa from Blue Seal Cabasa, so that's here. We have a letter from Mike Dukakis, a letter from Ed Kennedy, a letter from Edward Bolin. We have a film strip from Channel 22. We have copies of the Springfield Daily News, the Springfield Union, the Holyoke Transcript, and the Chicopee Herald, which I believe are right here. We have 4 scrolls signed by Chicopee residents. We have a collection of bicentennial events and clippings that we're seeing come out now. We have a copy of Edward Bellamy's book, Looking Backward. Those are the signatures. We have a city manual and a newsletter from Uniroyal, which is right here. And 2 souvenir flags of the Bicentennial Ball, and a coaster, and a bumper sticker, and a movie advertisement for the 1976 movie.
I think this is your golf ball.
There it is.
So I would like to have Benita Wilson from Callaway Golf come up and actually, here is the golf ball from 1976, and I was like, why would they put a golf ball? But look how special, look how special this ball is in this golden box, really representing an era of Chicopee for many who supported their families by working at the golf ball making company, which was called Spalding's International at the time, and now is owned and operated and doing tremendously well as Callaway Golf.
Thank you.
Set that in the back.
And then So it's an honor to be here to represent the legacy of Spalding Top Flight and the continued success of manufacturing golf ball in Chicopee with Callaway. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. One thing, as Chicopee residents, we're very proud of the fact that Callaway golf balls are made right here in Chicopee. So if you do golf, and frankly, if you are a mediocre golfer, please use Callaway balls, because that's job security for the people who work there.
See the price of it? $2.
And you could buy that ball for $2 back in 1976.
I wouldn't feel so bad about losing these now.
So, so please bear with me. This is the first time I've ever opened a time capsule. It is very exciting, but I do know we have some very important documents that I believe are in here. Jeff, is that the book?
Edward Bellamy, Looking Backward?
That's the Edward Bellamy book, Looking Backward, that I had mentioned. So far, they were correct with everything they said was going to be in here. And here are the documents that one thing I'm really excited about is hearing what was to be said by not only the mayor of the era, this rubber band is about to fall apart, thereby promised the early spring of the bicentennial year of 1976 to improve and maintain the property of Memorial Drive, known as Joseph Preston Memorial Park. Signed by many members of our community, and obviously those who care about one of our 30 parks, Preston Park. Something special that represents the era. It was designed by Mickey Bover in 1976.
6,000 entries and hers won.
6,000 entries.
Savings Bank minted those coins.
Wow. Just, Linda Maruka has a little bit of history on this coin I wanted her to share with everybody.
The coin was made by or designed by Mickey Bover, who was a member of the class of 1976. There were 6,000 entries. Her design was the winning entry, and Chicopee Savings Bank minted the coins in gold, silver, and bronze.
And if you look at the back, it really does show what Chicopee is. Blue-collar Chicopee at its best, with mills and factories. And a date from 1976, and I believe that would be this, something very special. And
That belongs to that letter.
so I have a letter from Chicopee Savings Bank that I think it's worthy of reading this. That's December 21st of 1976. It says, "Gentlemen," apparently that's how we addressed everyone in 1976. And this was definitely done with a typewriter. It says, "Gentlemen, in honor of our nation's 200th birthday, Chicopee Savings Bank is proud to present the Bicentennial Commission of the City of Chicopee this gold medallion to be inserted into the Chicopee Bicentennial Time Capsule. The artwork appearing on the medallion was done by Michelle Bover, a 1976 graduate of Chicopee Comprehensive High School. Proceeds from the sale of the bronze medallion will go towards the establishment of the Chicopee Savings Bicentennial Scholarship Fund. Each year, through the next 100 years, one student will be selected from the Chicopee school system to be a scholarship recipient. Names of all the purchasers of the medallions and contributors to the fund are kept in the corporate records of Chicopee Savings Bank, signed by Roy A. Scott, President of Chicopee Savings Bank." So I believe this goes with that letter. Chicopee's Yesterdays, the Humanities Americana class of the Chicopee Comprehensive High School. So there was a screening of a movie. It was called 1776. It sets the screen aglow, just the right thing for the season, a thrilling and very touching and exhilarating kind of musical. And that aired on April 26th through the 30th at 7 p.m., ready at the Edward Bellamy Auditorium. Dr. Ware, a lot of history at Edward Bellamy Middle School. As a former Bulldog, I remember that. I was actually 6 years old, and I was a Stefanik star at the time when this all happened. So we're supposed to have a letter from the mayor, and we have some distinguished guests here that are going to read some of these letters, because, I do remember that. I've seen this before. This is a tapestry of City Hall, where you're standing right now. This space was actually opened and built in 1871. On December 22nd of that year, they had a parade and they marched through the streets of Chicopee into this particular auditorium where you're standing now. So there's many, many years of history in this space, and I want to first thank the former Mayor Richard Koss and the City Council and all those, the city planner and everyone involved in the renovation of Phase 1 of this beautiful room. Something that's really the pride and joy of Chicopee, a space that we're all very proud of. It really, if you think about where you're standing, it honors the past, it is really planned for the present, and it's really designed for our future. So, very exciting space. Just for everyone's to know that everything that's in this time capsule will be proudly displayed at the Chicopee Public Library for all to see. I want to thank Laura Bovey and Ann Gunkars, who are here representing the library, so you can get it an up close and personal with all of this wonderful, I'll say, replications of things or genuine things that represent an era from 1976. And what we have here, Irish Eyes Are Smiling, the Colleen and the Fireball Club from 1976. The Colleen at the time, in the court on the left, was Susan Berryman, Beverly Wales, Donna Blanchard, and Janine LaFlamme. They're waving to the crowd of over 200,000 people at the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And our float back in 1976, the Colleen float won #1 in the Holyoke Parade. You know, one thing I talk about often is about being proud of who you are and where you come from, and also making sure you have that Chicopee pride. And that doesn't just come from me. That's something that many in this room have. If you don't have it, I hope you catch it. And if you do have it, I hope you spread it. But in 1976, Chicopee, this town meeting brochure, truly represents what I often say, Operation Pride, recognizing how proud we are as Chicopee residents. Ooh. 50 cents an acre. A real estate tax bill. Talking about trying to keep Chicopee affordable. As the city council is about to set the tax rate in the next month. We have a tax bill here, yes. Area at 50 cents an acre. And here is an average bill. $2,640.
Newspapers are all the same day. 3 different papers.
You know, one thing I want to mention too is that the media who are here today, thank you for getting our message out about really what I call a Memorial Day in Chicopee, a very special day. And as you can see, these newspapers from the era are what people relied on to get their information. Today we rely on still our newspaper. We love print. We have social media. We have Mass Live. We have the Republican that's still in print, the Herald. We have the Chicopee Register. I know they're both here today. Thank you for being here and getting our message. And I know that Western Mass News was here, and also Chicopee TV, making sure that we remember this moment into perpetuity. So the letters that I have are the ones that I'm very excited about. And I'm going to take a moment to read the letter from the mayor that's dated June 11th, 1976. Again addressed gentlemen. And the typewriter printed in cursive, so which is very unique. I don't know what font that is, but as we gather together to commemorate the birth of our nation 200 years ago, it is fitting that we take time to reflect on the meeting of this joyous occasion. Our forefathers, sitting in justices toward the colonies, boldly broke all the ties to the English crown. Through their hard-fought struggle, the United States of America had been born. In the past 200 years, the people of this nation have helped grow into this prosperous country she is. For years, America has been looked upon as the land of freedom and opportunity to thousands of people throughout the world. We, here in Chicopee, have played an integral part in the history of the United States. So as we celebrate tonight amidst friends and neighbors, let us give thanks for our blessings and renew our faith in a strong and united America. Signed, very truly yours, Howard W. Redford, Jr., the mayor of the city of Chicopee. So next up, I would like to, we have a letter here from actually Edward Kennedy. And that letter is going to be read by our State Senator Jake Oliveira. Short and sweet from the senator.
Perfect. Should I do it in a Kennedy accent? I'm not going to do that. Well, congratulations to the class of 76. When we opened this earlier, I was getting scenes, flashbacks from Raiders of the Lost Ark that, don't look at it, whatever's in there. But dear Mr. Anderson, it was so kind of you to invite me to attend your bicentennial ball on June 11th. Although this is something that I would like to do, other commitments that evening will make it impossible for me to accept. I wish I could join you for this affair. Again, my thanks for your thoughtfulness in inviting me. Best wishes, Senator Edward M. Kennedy. Thank you, Mayor.
You want to say again, unable to attend?
Again, unable to attend.
Next, I have a letter from Edward Boland. I would like to ask our state rep, Shirley Arriaga, to read the letter.
Nice.
That's our state representative, Edward Boland, at the time.
Perfect. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today on this exciting day. I look forward to unveiling our own time capsule in 25 to 50 years. But with further ado, I'm going to read this letter dated April 27, 1976. Dear Mr. Anderson, thank you for a very cordial invitation to attend Chicopee's bicentennial ball on June 11th at the High Point Motor Inn. Where is that? Memorial Drive. Okay, where the Mercedes was. Okay. I wanted to thank the members of the Chicopee Bicentennial Commission for their thoughtfulness in inviting me. However, I find that I have another commitment that evening. With best wishes for a joyous and successful event, I am sincerely yours, Edward Boland, Member of Congress.